Hello and welcome to another episode of Legion by the Numbers. I'm Joe Eames, and in this episode we are going to be continuing our series on the Super Commandos, but now we're going to look at the Super Commando Marksman. This will be the last of the four heavies that we cover, looking at their offensive capabilities, how much damage that they do, and getting some ideas for the tactics and times when you do want to take them. So the Super Commando Marksman is different than the last two, Rook and the Gunslinger, because they have a range 3 weapon. Rook and the Gunslinger have a range 2 weapon, so we kind of outfitted them to be close up. So let's go ahead and add the Super Commando Marksman. Training wise, I was really a big fan of up close and personal because you wanted to get range 2 and it gives you a benefit when you shoot at range 2. But with the Marksman, there isn't that real need to get in there. So I could imagine even something like Hunter, thinking, hey, I'm going to be shooting down their multi-hit point units. But it only works on troopers. Maybe that can cover situational awareness, is now starting to make a lot more sense, or offensive push. Those are probably the two. Let's go with situational awareness. I like that one. I still think you want to give them the emergency transponder. That extra token when you want it or need it is great. And you're already spending a lot of points, so 4 more doesn't matter. The one on gear-wise, I could imagine looking at targeting scopes instead of the combat shields because you want to be at range 3. The shields are just so nice. 2 more hit points for only 10 points of damage and no damage fall off while you take those. So the shields are nice. But I could see potentially thinking about taking the targeting scopes to go all the way to Precise 2. So that's the other thing about the Super Commando Marksman. He has Precise 1, now you're getting to Precise 2 if you take the targeting scopes. I think you definitely are taking the jetpack rockets. You're already saying you really want to be at the max range anyway, and they just give you one more option. Grenade-wise, I don't think you take a grenade. You don't want to move them in close. You're trying to stay out. So I don't think you take grenades on these guys. So this is how we're going to outfit them. 129 points. And they don't have any keywords except for precise. They do essentially always have that aim token. Now, dice-wise, basically, he's just like the rest with the black and the white, but he adds a red. So we're going to have 4 black, 4 white, and then 1 red. And we have the precise 1. So let's look at, we're going to be looking at red, no surge to block with heavy cover. And they're doing 1.62 points of damage, 80 points total of per hit, and a 16% chance to do no damage. Now, looking at the other units, this was a lot better than the other units range 3, but it isn't amazing. It isn't an amazing efficiency, also not an amazing quantity of damage done. What happens if we switch out for Precise 2? Does that make much of a difference? And it made a tiny difference, but it wasn't really huge. You're probably re-rolling those whites a lot, and some of your blacks having, are you going to blank out on more than 2 blacks? You're probably not blanking out on the red, but are you going to blank out on more than 2 of those 4 blacks? Maybe, maybe not. So precise, or more than 3, because you already have Precise 1. It's Precise 2, we can see, didn't make that much of a difference because we don't have a lot of white dice going on. We only have a few black dice that would want to be re-rolled. So not exactly amazing results there. Do you still want, are these guys still better if you get into range 2 and switch out those white dice on the regular units for black dice? Very potentially. One thing about him is he gains Precise 1 whether or not he's using his weapon, because it's not the weapon that has Precise 1, it's just his weapon. So let's look at a couple of interesting things. Would you want to get to range 2, and then at range 2, would you want to use his weapon or the 2 black die weapon? So if we go to range 2, we are going to lose 3 of our white and add 3 more black. And when we do that, we go from 1.6 to 2.8. The efficiency went down or improved quite a bit from 80 points to 60 points. So a lot better there. So still worth it to get into range 2 when you can with this guy. But what should you use, his weapon or the 2 black? Well, we lose the white, but we lose the red and gain 1 more black. In that case, there was a fall off. So even at range 2, you still want to be using his weapon. Not really that much of a surprise there. But he still wants to go to range 2 as well, which means you might outfit him differently. Not really a great long-range fighter. Not terrible, but stormtroopers can do these sorts of points of damage, if not be more efficient. Yeah, you got a lot more tricks in the bag, but when it comes right down to it, if you're looking at taking the Super Commando Marksman, you may as well be taking Rook Cast, or switch over to just the regular Mandalorian Super Commando. That precise was nice, but it didn't make a huge amount of difference. And you want to be at range 2. Yeah, there's a big difference between range 3 and range 2. There really is. So you might find based on your playstyle that this fits your playstyle just a little bit better. You feel like they're more survivable, getting to stay at range 3 and having the mobility to dance around a little bit, rush in and really quickly get to range 3 and be doing a bit more damage than they would be. But for those points, at range 3, if he was just a regular old, if instead of him you're using just a regular old super, just the Mandalorian Super Commando here, what's the difference there? So we're gonna outfit. Let's ask that question. Let's find out the answer to that question. We're gonna outfit him the same, but go to the Mandalorian Super Commando. So now our points drop to 123. And we gained a surge token that we'll probably get to use, and we lost precise. And then finally we lost the red die on the weapon, but we're still at 4 black, 4 white. And if we do it that, we're at 1.3 instead of 1.6. The efficiency is a lot worse, 93 points. So at range 3, they are a lot better. The Marksman is quite a bit better at range 3. You've always got that aim token. The surge token that you get off of the other regular unit doesn't make up for what you get out of having the red die, having the precise one, and just 5 more points. So not a big deal. That probably means then that a takeaway here is that this gunslinger, the Marksman, is probably better in general than the regular old Super Commando. Just because at range 3, and even at range 2, they're just doing better points of damage than the regular old Super Commando. Then the real reason is those 6 points difference. If you really want to have Mandalorian Super Commandos, but you can't afford the 6 points, which is weird, it might be better to take off like some of the other upgrades. If you got no upgrades, then, interesting choices there, but they're not, none of them are unique. So you can have multiple of these, so it wouldn't be because you already have one and you want to do Rook as the unique trooper. So looks like the Marksman is kind of the superior choice here versus the regular Super Commandos. Even though they weren't overwhelming, still better overall damage profile. So good takeaway here. The Marksman is probably your default unit you want to take. You're only taking the other units for very specific reasons. Those surges, because they already searched defense, they're of limited use because they're only available on offense. So you're probably looking at the Marksman. I didn't like the Gunslinger. I thought Rookcast was better, so maybe if you've already got Rookcast, you still want to close in, then's when you take the Gunslinger. But otherwise, the Marksman should be your default choice here. Hope you liked the video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. If you saw me miss anything, any reasons why you would say pick the regular Super Commando over the Marksman, let me know in the comments, and look forward to seeing you in a future video.